Hello YouTubers, today or tonight, whenever you're watching this, I am actually filming this Saturday. No, not Saturday, my bad. Mind is a little off track today. Friday, today's Friday. And, today was really an off day for me. Usually it's not, but since I'm not working Fridays no more, and since I'm once again having Fridays off, and today Friday's been now really weird for me lately. But even today was more off day for me, because not realizing I had a haircut to go to, and my sister also needed to go to Fred Meyer's. So when I went to Fred Meyer's, walking around, see what movie they had, and not realizing this past Tuesday what Marvel movie came out. Morbius, the Living Vampire. I'm like, when I got there, I'm like, Morbius came out? I'm like, I didn't see no commercials for on YouTube, cable, nothing that was about to come out on DVD and Blu-ray. I'm like, it was just odd for me. So I'm like, okay, Redbox time. Mom, sis, do you got a movie you want to rent off of Redbox? Because I do. So, obviously, they had a movie, and I rented Morbius. Usually, sometimes the disc says how long the movie is, but I don't see it on here. But anyway, once you put it in, it kind of doesn't feel, the beginning doesn't feel that long of a movie, because in the beginning, it basically rushes everything until you get to the end. Like, more like once, about, pause on that moment, but, basically, if you don't know any of the characters, like Morbius and the villain, basically the villain in the comics was actually named Lexius Crown. Lexius Crown. And which I do give the movie credit, which I'll get into later, but Lexius Crown is a villain of Spider-Man and Morbius. Lexius Crown was a normal guy, work for Hydra until he gets bitten by Morbius, and then he becomes, which, I'm sorry, is a really dumb name, but also makes sense knowing how he is in the movie. It's just, no. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, it makes sense, because, obviously, it makes sense in the movie, because his vampire name is named Hunger, the Living Vampire. I'm like, okay, yeah, in the comics, yeah, does he feed on a bunch of people because he's really hungry? Cool, great. I am hunger. Feed me. Feed me. Feed me. No. But in the movie, you kind of get past all that, because you see more of the greedy, I hate you, how dare you, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, that's the villain. Basically, Morbius, jumping back to the villain real quick. If you look at the casting of the movie, it is actually listed that the villain's character name is Lexius Crown, but which in the movie, in the beginning, like few minutes of the kind of beginning of the movie, they do establish that he does establish when they showed that they were kids is that his name is actually Lexius Crown. He doesn't say the crown part, but Lexius. And it's like cool. He says it twice, which Morbius understands that. But okay, yeah, I get it. That the very first kid that slept right next to Morbius was named Milo, and then he gave the second kid before Alexius the name Milo, and it's like, my question is why did they do that? I mean, honestly, that was really stupid. If you're gonna keep the name Lexius for the casting and not change it to Milo, it's like, why not allow Morbius be okay to say Alexius, or at least when he changed from good to bad, does he get the name Hunger? No, but I bet while they were writing the script, they give them the name Hunger, and they just didn't have Morbius say it because it's pretty fucking obvious that feed me, I gotta eat. But anyway, Morbius, Dr. Michael Morbius, the Living Vampire, his story between the comic and movie, it's not really that different. It's kind of different, but not that much. Just little tiny bits. It's different. It not too big, but small. The only things that's smallly different is that more I can't even say her name now. Martin. In the comics, Martin is just the fiance of Morbius, and that's it. But in the movie, she's his right-hand doctor, friend, and then girlfriend, and probably in the sequel, vampire bride / enemy. Or just vampire bride. They do keep the whole story completely from the comic, like totally ripped out of the comic, that basically he turned himself into a vampire, and basically since Martin was replaced, since Martin was basically took on to the basically, how can I say this? Basically, since in the comics, his right-hand partner was not who it was in the comics, it was Martin, quote-unquote, his friend / girlfriend later on, in the movie. But basically, Morbius still got changed into a living vampire on the boat. The movie stretched it a little further where he actually killed, where I actually like this part in the movie, that basically he killed who was on the boat, basically random human beings that basically were assholes, and he just where he was just mindless, and you got the vampire hungry for blood, and he's just going all rage and shit. That was, to me, that was really awesome, because you get this action scene. You kind of get to see what he can do until you actually get a little bit into that into the movie. And then it goes back directly from the page of the comic where he jumps off the boat. What they also kind of changed from the comic to the movie, there is no Spider-Man. Obviously, there is no Spider-Man in this movie at all. But, which I'll talk more about that at the end. Lexius, aka Milo, aka Hunger. Okay, they really changed that character completely between both of them, because they start out as strangers like every normal kid that's going to school or moving to a new house and sees their neighbor as a kid, and they start a bullshit, and then they become friends, and then they start out as friends, become brothers, and then become enemies. Okay. I get it. I really do. I seriously get the whole freaking thing. You got a movie. You're trying desperately as you can to give Morbius a really cool superhero movie, and you're trying desperately to make the villain fit in so perfectly in the movie, when you're not even gonna get time in the movie to sympathize the villain and hero, where you're basically rushing everything through their childhood, and you're sitting in the theater or at home and watching the movie, and it's like, okay, I kind of sympathize with Morbius because we do get more time with him, but the villain, how am I supposed to sympathize with the villain when it's like they basically rush out there? But so it's like, okay, they kind of changed that a bit, where he's not directly a villain, and they actually had a somewhat relationship to a friend, from stranger to a friend to brother, and then enemy. So, Morbius' hobbies, apparently had a hobby too, was making paper, folding paper animals, and Rubik's Cubes. Those colorful, puzzle cubes. And it's like, okay, everybody has to have a hobby, I guess. Yeah, that. To me, I also think that the comic Morbius also did this, but I'm not really 100% sure that he actually did it in the comics. But in the movie, apparently his favorite pet to keep in his lab around was bats. Bats. Oh, Morbius, do you have a pet animal? Oh, yes, I do. What do you have? I have bats. You don't have a dog? Normally, it's normal people have dogs or cats. No, I have bats. Morbius, the Living Vampire movie should have been longer. Like, more detailed, longer scenes where they should have added more scenes to it, like the scenes they already had. The normal release date, instead of holding it back one more time to take out all the scenes that they already had, that they planned to throw in there. They should have kept those scenes. Even though we saw in the trailer already, they should have kept that in the movie, because everybody was expecting to see those scenes. Everybody was expecting to take time to learn about Morbius and the villain as kids, learning how to grow to love each other, to become brothers after getting past a friend relationship. And more time to learn about Morbius's powers, what he can do, instead of zooming through it as fast as you could, because who probably cares about this shit? Fans do. Honestly, Sony, you just, I swear, you wonder why somehow you messed up with the first two Spider-Man movies that basically came out so far. Basically, Tobey Maguire. Where did we go wrong? Oh, let's see. The third Spider-Man movie pushed in 3 villains when it was only made for 2. Andrew Garfield's second Spider-Man movie. Where did we go wrong again? Oh, gee, let me guess. 3 villains. Green Goblin, when it was kind of made just once again for 2 villains. Electro and the Rhino. Okay, Tom Holland. We made a deal with Disney, everybody. We got Tom Holland. So far, he's the coolest kid actor. Let's not screw up this time. So far, they haven't. Okay, we're kind of losing Tom Holland to Disney, which, okay, we gotta save our Spider Universe. So, where we can hold on to somewhat Spider-Man characters and get money off of them. Let's do a Venom movie. Yeah! Did that. Yeah, cool. Made money. Made a sequel. It's gonna make a 3rd sequel. Okay, Venom's on the board. Making money. Making us money. Disney wants half of the credit, which will sooner or later try and give them secretly the credit for a little while. What other villain could we put in a sequel? In a somewhat spin-off sequel? Oh, we know that other fans love and want to try and ruin. Morbius. Yeah, they really ruined Morbius when, honestly, it wasn't even trying to be this bad. What we saw in the trailers, we were supposed to get, and hopefully, honestly, if they are planning to release this Morbius movie back in theaters, like they are with Spider-Man No Way Home, here's a good idea. If you're releasing Spider-Man No Way Home back in theaters, where it's the extended cut, do it with Morbius instead of releasing the same damn copy that we just got on DVD and Blu-ray back in theaters. Because if you release the extended cut, we might have you guys actually might get more money off of that in theaters if you guys release the extended cut. And, yeah, on the side of actually making more money, actually be worthy enough to actually make a sequel off of Morbius. The living fucking vampire. Where you guys actually throw in every scene you promised in the trailer. I do not care. Honestly, the Spider-Verse, you guys promised that in the trailers. We were supposed to see the Oscorp building from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movies. Honestly, they took out everything. Well, tried, but honestly, if you truly think about it, there was a few scenes already with the Tobey Maguire's Daily Bugle newspaper. Still looks the same from the Tobey Maguire series. Hello, how dumb could you be to actually miss those and not actually changed it? Because accordingly to Sony, in the Venom and Morbius movies, since they are connected, and they are not. Because Sony tried to push the first time is that they weren't, but the director turned around and said, yeah, basically they are connected. Venom and Morbius is connected. That's Sony is just giving out lies. But is Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, or Tom Holland's Spider Universe connected? By Spider-Verse, yes. But in the universe, no. It does, Venom and Morbius have their own Spider-Man in their own universe? Yes, technically they do. That's why they want it. That's why Sony had a dumb idea. Let's take out everything. No, that would have been, that was dumb. To me, I think that would have been a greater idea to keep those things in there. Because while Spider-Man No Way Home was going on, where basically what we saw in the cartoon would pretty much be cool to see in Morbius, where all suddenly we see things popping up out of nowhere, and on the news that we see Andrew Garfield's Oscorp building in the Morbius movie, all suddenly Tobey Maguire's newspaper Daily Bugle in Morbius, and the villain of Tom Holland in the Morbius movie. But we don't get the Andrew Garfield. We don't get the, well, to me, I still want to say we get the Tobey Maguire, because those scenes still with the newspaper, I want to say yeah. Andrew Garfield, no, but Tom Holland's villain, the Vulture, still having those scenes. Yeah, the jokes in the movie, they were mostly funny. Not trying to mean, but most of the jokes weren't funny at all. Like in one of the trailers, I thought Morbius was going to crack a joke after one of the police officers brought in holy water. I thought one of the police officers was going to say, have you ever seen The Lost Boys? Which I love that movie. Honestly, I love the first movie of The Lost Boys. That is a great movie. I recommend it. But, no, they didn't. They took that part out, which I was very disappointed. Because it was another vampire movie, and, hello, basically, they referenced Dracula. Okay, I get that. It's a original, classic monster movie. Cool. What's another cult-following vampire movie on the side of Twilight? Is The Lost Boys. But anyway, basically, they kind of reference The Notebook, which I truly love how Morbius put that, is that if you're gonna reference The Notebook to me, I'm gonna turn around and hop my way back to where I came from. Which I like that. That was funny. Basically, he referenced the Hulk in his own vampire way, and it was so dumb. I'm sorry, that was dumb. If you just have a Spider-Man in that universe, and you don't even have a Hulk, How in the hell has he heard this reference? You don't you don't want me thirsty. You don't like me when I'm thirsty. Honestly, you don't want to get me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. How in the hell did he hear that when there is no Hulk in his universe? It's like what? It is the Avengers in is a movie in their universe, but in 616 it's actually real in that universe. It's like, but and honestly, I'm shocked Sony did not get sued unless they actually paid DC and Warner Brothers for this shit. They actually referenced Batman, the Batman beginning and so it honestly, when Morbius is like standing in the fish tank with the whole bats, Batman Begins. All the bats helping Morbius fight the villain, Batman Begins. And if I got this right, yeah. Isn't it? Oh, it's Universal. That kind of makes sense. Honestly, I wonder if they paid Universal to reference Dracula, since like I said, they referenced Dracula, and I'm like, okay, it's a vampire classic cult following movie. Cool. Which, honestly, not trying to mean it actually did feel like a Dracula movie, which that's what makes me more wonder if they actually paid Universal for half of that part, for half of the script, to make it feel like a Dracula movie, and it actually does, with the love interest, and okay, Hunger felt like the messed up right hand man that Dracula had in the black and white movie, and Morbius was Dracula, and they just clench heads. The villain was the villain, not the right hand man, and it's just it felt like a Dracula movie, that someone was trying to desperately do a Dracula movie and not a Marvel Morbius movie. But most of the CGI should have been better. I mean, don't get me wrong, the action scenes, CGI, half of the CGI was really good. It's just, so far, I only saw one scene. Just me. I am not that picky with CGI because I know how hard it is to get it right, but to do an elevator scene and seeing, what's his name? Alexis Milo Hunger, to get in the elevator scene, you see the background, the wall behind that the elevator has, and it looks like a terrible CGI wall. Yeah, that should have been worked on. That should have been worked on, like, completely, because a lot more better, because now I mean, if every scene you have of the fighting where you see kind of the wind blowing on Morbius, and you see like this color, seeing Hunger and Morbius fly and fight, it's like, I almost forgot to say as well, it didn't, I almost forgot to say one more thing that Morbius also referenced, and that is actually Matrix. Morbius actually referenced Matrix as much as it did with Batman. Uh, they also the villain also said take the red pill or the blue pill. Also on the rooftop while his girlfriend was dying, um, you have a window that's basically has the color of red, but the other half of the window was green instead of blue. And to me, I truly believe that they were trying to go with the Matrix reference there. Instead of green, they should have went with blue. But anyway, that's all. Good. That's great. Cool. But that one scene with the elevator, him walking into the elevator, it's like, why is that CGI part so terrible? Why is that so noticeable? My mom would have noticed it. Probably before me, and then, but this time I actually noticed it right away, but she probably would have noticed a lot more scenes, than me, but, the action, the fighting scenes with the cops and Morbius and the villain, and Morbius and the villain fighting, those were really good action scenes. I got to admit, those were really good action scenes. Those action scenes is actually what got me into the movie. Not the storyline. The storyline could have been a little more better. Like, if the movie was longer, added scenes, kept scenes in that was supposed to be in the movie, yeah, I probably would have been interested in the movie storyline. But no. What actually got me into the movie and actually made me care not to turn this movie off was the action scenes. So to me, that's the only good thing this movie has that will give me a reason to say this movie was good. Everything else, terrible, very terrible, and honestly, seriously, not trying to be mean. I have a friend at work, coworker at work, that hates the actor, that despises the actor in this movie, the main actor in this movie. He likes the actor that plays the villain, which, okay, not trying to be mean, I hate that actor in most of the movies I've seen him in. He plays a really good annoying guy or a really good asshole. Except in one movie. I actually saw one of his movies, and that was in Mamma Mia 2. And honestly, he wasn't so bad in that movie. He was actually pretty good. He actually can sing, shockingly. That man can sing. But going back to our main character, Morbius, the actor that played Morbius, he despised that actor. Me? Okay. I see his point of view of why he kind of hates the actor. But that man can actually play a really good character if he really wants to. Do I like him as the Joker? I do have some nitpicks when it comes to him and his Joker, but I do like what he brought to the Joker? Kinda. Because it was his own Joker, and every goddamn actor brings his own type of style to the Joker, so you can't really say that was not a good Joker, because if you hate his Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, to me, is not a Joker. To me, it was just a mental guy that had fucked up problems and really needed help. Jack Nicholson. He brought somewhat of his own style to the Joker. But mostly it was Tim Burton. Heath Ledger. Mark Hamill. And so on and so on. But, also it depends on the Batman too. But anyway, not Jack Nicholson. Jared Leto as Morbius. Okay, yeah, he found the character fascinating. He tried as best as he could with this character. Do I like him as this character? Fuck no. Hell no. They could have picked a better actor. Seriously, a better actor to play this character. Morbius, seriously. If anybody knows Morbius, okay, in a way, if you actually watch the classic animated cartoon of Spider-Man, the guy came from Transylvania. In the comics, they also reference he came from I can't even say it no more. Transylvania. And he had a accent. In the animated cartoon, he had a accent. Because he came from Transylvania. Okay, seriously? Jared Leto? It sound like I come from America. I have America talk way. But I'm playing the character Morbius. Okay, great. Where did he come from? Oh, we're not going to talk about that. Where's his accent? Oh, we're not going to talk about that either. Then you're not playing Morbius. Yeah, I'm really downgrading this movie deeply, emotionally. Is it terrible? Would I prefer them to actually reboot this movie completely? Like, remake this movie completely? Yes, definitely. And honestly, this is not this is not the first Marvel movie I actually hate. One of the Hulk movies I actually hate. Actually, there's two. But I actually like one of actually a few actors in the two Hulk movies that I hate. I hate X-Men Dark Phoenix. But I do kind of hate Morbius. Morbius does have its moments, good moments, to make this movie good. Just not a complete good movie. But if I had a choice for them to remake this Marvel movie, I would say I would stand up and say, you have my blessing. You go right ahead, because all I care about is you pick an actor that could quote that he's from Transylvania and has an accent that comes from Transylvania, and I'm good. An actual good storyline that I can actually follow, because while I was writing down what to say and what not to say, when I was watching the movie first time, and I was just watching the movie, I actually thought I was confused. I actually thought I would have to rewatch this movie again. when I was actually rewatching this movie and writing stuff down, I actually realized something. I actually was able to follow this damn movie beginning and end and not actually be confused than I thought I was. But this movie does suck. Would I buy it? If it was like $5, maybe. Just maybe. $10 or $5. One of those. 10 or 5. Then I would. But for $17.99 or $17.89 before tax, which would still end up coming to close to $20. Hell, fucking no. 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 Even though I just like the action scenes, no, I still want it. But to me, it was worth the watch. To buy, watch, no. First rent, then base your freaking opinion. But anyway, if you guys followed me, understood me, comment down below and say that you understood what I was saying, that you were following everything that I was saying. Also comment down below what's your did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Were you just like me where you were like eh? What was your favorite scene? My favorite scene of Morbius. And I'm gonna have to rewatch the movie to actually know what's my favorite scene. As a guess, if I have to guess, it would have to be the parts. I have more than one. The parts where Morbius shortly, fast, found out what he was able to do with the whole sound, bat location, the bad eyes, the flying, and the color of the air / whatever the hell that flew off his body while he was flying, and the deform. Don't take this the wrong way, but the deforming of from Jared Leto's human face to the bat-looking face. That was awesome. Those were my favorite parts. Oh, and the boat scene. The boat scene where he's just flying, jumping, tearing, biting through the freaking hell out of the assholes on the boat. That was awesome. Comment down below. What's your favorite Morbius comic? Also comment down below if the Morbius movie was your first intro to the Morbius character. If not, comment down below what was your first intro of the Morbius character. Was it the comics? Was it the cartoons? Actually, I think it was just in one Spider-Man cartoon. And like I said, or was it just the movie? Also comment down below if you would want to see Morbius return, because I am actually kind of curious what they're going to do with the sequel. Am I really that excited for a sequel? Hell no. Would I wait for the sequel to come out on DVD and Blu-ray and rent it again? And rent Morbius, the sequel of Morbius? Yeah, basically. Unless I heard good reviews, then I'll probably go into the theater and see it. Do I want to see Morbius and Venom go up against each other or team up? Yeah, that'll probably be a good movie. A good movie script. That would be really cool. Morbius, Venom versus Morbius, or Venom and Morbius. Am I really excited for Sony's dumb idea for a Suicide Squad Sinister Six? Hell, fuck no. A Suicide Squad Sinister Six? That is not a heroes team. You cannot turn that group into a Suicide Squad. I am so sorry, Sony. But that script and that movie will bomb at the box office more than this movie did. I can tell you that as much. Keep him as a villain. Keep him as a villain, bad guy group, instead of trying to turn him into a Suicide Squad. Seriously. Or, you know what, better yet, return the Vulture, quoting from the MCU. Since Vulture did come from the MCU Spider-Man. Reed Richards, spoiler alert, from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, did say to Doctor Strange, the longer you're in a different multiverse, different universe, and you're not in your universe, the bigger hole you leave. And more likely, that bigger hole will collide with your universe and destroy both of our universes. So, one way or another, return the Vulture to the right universe he belongs. And then make a deal once again with Sony and have them throw the Vulture. Or luckily somehow bring back Mysterio. Have them throw in the Mysterio or the Shocker or Scorpion into the Thunderbolts movie, where the Thunderbolts are like a version of Suicide Squad, just not completely. And I'm curious about, that leaves me thinking, okay, if the Vulture hopped into this universe, accidentally went into the Venom Universe, and, okay, what part of the moment did he actually got transported into the Morbius movie? Because to me, it looked like the big purple portal was closing, and if it was at that moment, the Vulture should have been returned to the MCU, because Doctor Strange transported back Tobey Maguire and his villains, Andrew Garfield and his villains back to their universe, and Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, should have been returned into the MCU if it was that scene, and Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, should not have been stayed in the Morbius universe. But if it was during the time of each villain was getting taken out of their universe, but somehow, and it just showed the big purple portal as the transport, and sorry, was the that was and that's how he got there, and and if he was so basically what I'm trying to get at is that if he just got there before the movie ended, like let's just say he was there the whole entire time the movie was going on, and he probably got back to the MCU, he would, on the side of Captain Marvel and Nick Fury, he would be the other, he would be another person that would recognize Spider-Man as Peter Parker. But wouldn't make sense to me if he actually got transported into the into the prison cell in Morbius at the end of No Way Home. Okay, then he would have forgotten who Spider-Man was. He would have had no idea who Peter Parker was. And that wouldn't make sense. That would still ruin Morbius, because Doctor Strange returned everybody. Tobey Maguire and his villains. Andrew Garfield and his villains. Back to the original multiverse. And not keep them where they were. So Adrian Toomes should have stayed where he was and not been transported. So what I truly believe, he was transported before. Like, Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, probably got transported right away after Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, the Lizard got to the MCU. And that big purple portal was just so if you guys also somewhat understood what I was trying to say and followed me with that complicated conversation, please comment down below that you guys understood that as well. Please like and follow me. I would not mind if you also follow me, not just on my YouTube page, but on my Facebook and Instagram. Just type in DYLLION space BUEL, basically how my name is on my YouTube channel, and you will find me on Facebook and Instagram. Have a nice day or night whenever you're watching us. Peace.